then head back out. The river Ness, which connects the loch to the sea, opens up an ocean of possibilities.
Oh, boy.
This could explain how a very large creature could be seen in the loch, when there don't seem to be enough fish here to support a resident population of large predators. But does that mean the sturgeon is the top candidate?
What's that? You have a kayak?
Have I ever kayaked? So.
Yes.
Sturgeon don't have any teeth.
Easy.
And Alex
No, it's not. No.
in the ancient texts,
it's not a.
bite
Not for the faint of heart. Yeah, you can't be dismissive. Well, you can't be scared. You can't be like, are we okay? You know what I'm saying?
Down the river Ness.
It's not a good time to be asking questions.
How deep is it?
Yeah, you kind of like in it. So, you want to find out? Go over.
I'm pretty well immersed.
Loch Ness.
The fish files. Fish. No. Don't down.
I don't hear anything. You know
No,
why?
because you ain't plugged in.
Did this before?
You ain't plugged in. That's what she said.
There's our theme. Almost works with almost every line. That's what she says.
Gotta figure out a line where it doesn't work.
How's grandma?
That's what she said.
Doesn't work. So what is it, like adjective versus verb versus?
Something like that, yeah. It's like a formula that you can use for. Mary Poppins Returns. Told that bitch to come back anyway. Look at that, the view. Ooh.
Yeah, nice.
Ooh. Ooh. We're all over the place.
I know, we're just blinging and popping and drilling and popping. That's live.
All right.
That's live.
Ha ha.
Hey. What you got now? What you see now? James Brown was pretty fucking amazing.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
You listen to a lot of James Brown?
I in retrospect, yes.
Number one, clean your house records.
It can be, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
You get going and
You can get you going.
you start cleaning out with some James Brown.
That's right. Put on some big payback.
Yeah.
Damn.
I
don't know karate.
Yeah.
But I know crazy. The big payback. Damn.
Oh man, a lot of rappers obviously have been inspired by the creations of James Brown,
right.
And the sampling, has always been the crux of like hip hop. I mean, hip hop was started from the mixing of the records and finding that break beat and all of that other stuff. So. And we talked about on the last show, right, that we like great music, being a contributor, like just contributing to society. And I wonder why people get so pandied in a bunch for rights to use it, not to
rights
use
to
it.
use it, not to. Yeah, well, I think there becomes this issue of, well, you're not necessarily the creator.
Yeah.
Can we make sure that the creator at least gets
props.
Credit and gets their props
right.
for it? Because there was a time where it was the Wild Wild West, and you just use whatever you wanted to use and stuff. And there's some tremendous stories about how people kind of like they would create it. So what you would do is, and you did more music than I ever did, but you would create it with whatever sample you're going to use.
Right.
And then if you had to obtain rights, you would present it to whoever owned the rights to that cut. It's like, hey, this is what we're using this for. Right, we're using it for this. Take a listen to it. Tell me what you think. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Hey, you're going to have the standard thing and getting paid, and you like this or not? And a lot of times people said yes, but sometimes says, oh, that sounds great. I want 10 times more than what the actual...
So yeah, I can see where that comes in. I mean, if you're creating and you're being creative, it is very tough when someone takes your shit, and especially if you had a message with your music, right?
Right.
Like, suppose if it meant to be something and you just flipped it and fuck the police. No, that's not what I
you don't want it to represent.
Okay, so
apparently that's what happened with I can't remember that name of that group, but what was that song at Harlem got this shit on lock. New York got crazy game.
Shaq's group, Peter Guns.
Lord Tariq and Peter Guns? No, that's not Lord Tariq and Peter Guns. Is it?
Boom.
Yes.
Boom.
That was a Steely Dan cut.
Bing,
and apparently Steely Dan hijacked them for Steely Dan said, okay.
Pay up.
Right. Pay up like
where's my money?
like 30 times whatever the actual rate is and stuff like that. And they ended up doing it and they got a huge hit out of it because of that. But it really like soured any relationship that group
that's Shaquille O'Neal's group. He signed those guys.
Did he?
Yeah, they were on his label.
Speaking of Shaquille O'Neal, you know what I heard? You know what I heard? I was at work, leaving work, get the phone ready, get the music ready, the headphones in. Decided to go on some just hit Pandora, just do a little shuffle, whatever came up. First song that came up was the Foo Schnickets.
Yes.
Lush move, we don't got nothing to prove. And actually stopped like, oh! When you hear a song that you haven't heard in a long time.
Foo Schnickets was dope, man.
They were, man. They were nice.
Dope. Chip Foo,
right.
He had like one of the fast, him, Twister.
There was him, Twister. Shaq did his thing. Shaq Fu did his thing every once in a while.
So I had the game. I had the Shaq Fu game. It was a Nintendo game, which was Shaq Fu. It was a karate game, and it was like the Kung Fu game, but it was... you had to go through like Temple of Doom type of thing. You had to go through all these chambers and get to the top and fight the master and all that crazy shit. I mean, that was a lot of fun. I mean, me and Ron used to play that shit all the time.
We don't got nothing
to prove. Dude. Yeah, they were pretty cool. The light skinned guy was a little goofy. He used to do that squeaky.
Yeah.
That was like his.
That was his contribution.
Yeah. Chip Fu was obviously the draw, but you couldn't do too much of the. You had to have the other guy with the, with the deep voice. He was like the big guy. It was three of them. But the light skinned guy never understood him what his role was.
Who was that other dude? Who was the dude in Cypress Hill? There was Be Real.
Yeah,
who pretty much did most of the writing and did all the lyrics. But there was I can't remember the other dude's name. Who basically just repeated shit.
Hit him in the back!
Yeah! Get the fuck your beans!
He added value, I mean, later, because he became such a voice of the... Got no brains!
Right. He became so identifiable. He became so identifiable with what that was.
The ad-libber. He was the ad-lib guy.
And I'm sure he did more than just do that. I mean, I
think he was a producer.
I think he was a producer. I think he did some like arrangement and, I think he was a studio dude and did But all we see is like him doing that.
So in my music days of the Body Snatcher days of Mike Myers and the Body Snatchers and Total Control and all this, I was always Mike's hype man, like kind of like a ad-libber on songs, and in shows you do them too. And so when I met Vin Rock at the Dirt Days about 3 years ago, I was like, dude, man, you were like the gold standard of the
ad-libbers.
Yeah, because a lot of like him, Flip Star for Buster. Buster always had little Flip Star.
Little Flip, right?
You have Vin Rocky for Tretch. You know what I'm saying? Come bring the guy out and be on stage with him and just give you that parallel. You know what I'm saying? Because it's hard for an artist when they sit up and they're up on the stage. I mean, I did a show with Dwayne, my brother, with DL. And SOBs. I mean, SOBs or what's the other one? Webster Hall.
Webster Hall. Okay.
Webster Hall. We performed at Webster Hall. We did one of his songs, and I hadn't been on stage for years. You know what I'm saying? And then went out with him and was like, holy shit! You get, you get a little adrenaline rush. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, yeah. Flavor Flav, of course, was a hip hop icon in the ad-lib world, and then the ad-lib guys became celebrities. Like they too became the artists, and they started having to do verses and writing, and it was a good time, man. Those was great times. I mean, I'm not really seeing that today in in the artistry.
No, you don't, because the ad lib guys were characters.
Yeah,
they were characters, and now it seems like the character is like the whole thing is a caricature.
Yeah, it's true. Right,
like the whole thing is like
it's all a gimmick. Like,
the whole thing is a gimmick, and so you didn't need the serious guy.
Yeah.
With the serious lyrics, but then there was the other guy who kind of like added some levity to it. Well, the whole thing is kind of like
right. I mean, for Chuck D was fucking like, you know, a square box. Like he was corny. Like Chuck D was a corny guy. You know what I'm saying? He wore the Wranglers. He had the pencil legs and the Raiders jacket. But Flavor Flav gave him that flavor with that, you know, the.
Well, he's the guy you wanted to see what was going to happen.
Right.
He was the guy. He was the guy. I want to see what Flav's going to do.
Right. What's he going to wear?
This is the first time Flav's back in New York after all this time. What's Flav going to do?
He's got some crazy hat, a clock, weird glasses, and really bugged out. I mean, that to me was one of the great things about you know, like that kind of ad-libby guy. I really loved that. Really enjoyed that.
If you put that in jazz,
I'm trying to see if we could see ourselves on here, but can't. You put that in jazz? What, an ad-lib?
Jazz music. Like...
Winford Marsalis and Flavor Flav.
Yeah. Yo, hit that fucking refrain, nigga.
I said B, motherfucking B. So good afternoon, Two Bros Podcast, episode 45. Wow, what a long intro before we introduced ourselves. 45 episode.
45, Colt 45.
Colt 45.
You still got that shirt?
Yes, I do. Somewhere around here. Dreary out. We are in December. We're a week away from Christmas, about.
Is it a week away? No. 2 weeks.
2 weeks?
2 weeks. Today's the 15th? 15th.
Okay.
16th. Because you had your party on Friday, which was nice. Everybody, I didn't realize everybody was decked out in red.
It was a red velvet.
Uh-huh.
So we rocked the red velvet blazers with the red level. This is what I wore underneath the level 1. All the women had red. It just took a life of its own. We didn't plan. We planned. I mean, the fellas, we all said we're gonna wear those jackets, and then
everybody just
followed suit. And then I guess the holiday time, it was really good. Surprisingly enough, so many people showed up and did not understand what's this BYOB thing.
Didn't understand what BYOB was?
No, grown folks. These are adults. And we were shocked. We were like, okay, they you know, obviously they saw a bar, so they was like, yo, I hope y'all got some good scotch back there.
I was like, no.
We
got a couple
We
things.
got ice, cups, and mixers. Which one would you like? And he was like, no scotches? No. I was like, dude, it's a BYOB.
Right. Bring your stuff, give it to the bartender.
Oh, that's what that meant.
Well,
what? I don't know what he thought, but I wasn't trying to figure it out. I really didn't want to find out that night. I really did not. What the fuck did he think it was? BYOB, BYOBB, whatever.
Be your own brother.
Would you like to come with me and be my brother? No, but we had a great time. Drew Frazier, the comedian, was outstanding. We did not have this right setup for sound for a comedian to kind of walk around while people had dinner. You know, he was talking.
That's always a hard gig, though, to perform while people are eating.
It's hard. It is hard.
Gig.
And actually, they kind of we let everybody eat, and right after the food
towards
started,
the end,
they got on stage. I mean, it wasn't really a stage. We just turned the lights on. It wasn't really set up for like a show, but we made it work anyway. He brought this kid out from him. I forget the kid's name, and I'd like to give him a plug, but it wasn't that funny, but he was brave.
Mm-hmm.
I think his name was Fun Size Freddy or something like that. Like, he had a really fun size. He was a little guy. He was a little guy, and he called himself Fun Size Fred or whatever. You know, and everybody, he's on BT and this and that. And everybody's like, who the fuck watches BT anymore? Like, I mean,
I know,
saying that doesn't even help you. It's more like saying, hey, he's on YouTube and on Instagram, and, you know.
Yeah.
It's weird how the networks don't have the power anymore.
It's, you know, I was flipping channels, and I came across something on BET, and it just looks so unrecognizable.
Right. Like, what is this?
Like, what is this?
Yeah.
Like, what? Who is this? Like, all I see are these chisel rock dudes, and these chicks with like a second layer of skin on them. for makeup.
Makeup. Oh.
So like what is like I don't it's unrecognizable as to what it is. It was supposed to be.
Yeah.
I mean, ever since it was sold a long time ago. BET's not really run by black people.
True.
That type of thing. So it's the perception of what black people want to see.
Right.
It is not.
Yeah, I don't know who. I mean, I guess we should be more involved with the. Try to figure like who runs these things, like, and who's and are these images of what you really want to be, or does anyone care?
Does anyone care? Right.
I don't think anyone cares enough.
I don't think anyone cares anymore.
I don't think so either. I think you're right. Do you want to restart? No, I don't want to restart. How about tomorrow? Yeah. So I think that the media has really. It's kind of what Alex Jones said all along was like, mainstream media is taking a back seat and people want what they want. They want to subscribe to what they want to subscribe to. Right. They want to follow what they want to follow or unfollow, or have the choice to unfollow it, not just program me with this rhetoric of give it to me the way you want it to, not the way I want to accept it. So it's important that people understand
which
means it comes from.
Which means now media outlets, in order to gain an audience, they have to cater to extremities. They have to cater to extremes, and they have to cater. They have to cater to
this world.
They have to cater to a narrative.
Okay.
Because that narrative is the if you turn on the news, first thing in the morning, you're going to hear about a bunch of tragedies, a bunch of uneventful events. A bunch of horror stories,
which I'm super guilty of.
Weather,
I'm guilty of not needing it, but wanting it. Like I want to watch the news in the morning because I want to see what they're spinning. I don't look at it like I need to. Oh, I want to find out what happened.
Information, right?
I'm amazed that every time they spin, like they just really spin it. They spin it and turn it into something that I'm like, are you guys really follow? You believe this shit? Like, and it's so fucking weird. I mean, but I do watch Channel 7 only.
You like Bill Evans, that's why.
Yeah, I just...
Bill Evans. It's going to be a little soup weather. You're going to be a little misty in the morning. Make sure you have your gear with you. But, you should be able to shed that overcoat this afternoon because it's going to warm up a little bit.
I do like his rhetoric. I'm amazed at how much he can garble in a minute. Like, he can...
Do you start off that way, like when you're going through, because all these people who do that, they have agents, they have managers and stuff like that. It's very few people are actual meteorologists who actually study what's going on with the atmosphere and stuff like that. They're pretty much entertainers who happen to have maybe a little bit more knowledge.
You think?
I think so. I think for the most part. I think if
you gotta want to study that shit, you gotta study weather. Like, no?
Look, I'm skeptical when I see the weather person and her name is Amy Freeze, and
Well, I think that part is. Like I think the producers do that. I think the producers like Amy Lebowski
just ain't
really
got
that ring. What do we call you, Amy
Freeze?
Storm Evans,
Storm
Peters, or Stormy Daniels never got a weather. Maybe she should go for. There's a job waiting for you, Stormy.
I'd watch for a second to see.
Oh,
what happens. So, she's really just reading the news. Never mind.
And there's a hot air balloon coming right now.
Ooh.
Oh, those are my tips.
Apparently, she has to pay Donald Trump's legal fees.
Why? Because she lost the thing.
Because she lost a lawsuit,
yeah, I saw that.
And there was I think there was a contingency in the thing where the loser pays lawyer fees. So now Stormy Daniels, she lost the lawsuit. Now she has to pay some $300,000 worth of
probably a lot too
lawyers' fees.
Probably a lot. If you have the sustainability and the guts to follow this shit show of what's happening, it's clearly what it is. I mean, this is all you're getting is pure shit show.
Yeah,
this is just at its finest. I mean, at the highest level of shitivity.
Shitivity.
It's outrageous.
Her lawyers. I think his time is up. I think he's expired. I think his 15 minutes are done.
Well, yeah, but now they got some new shit on him. Like if he beat his girlfriend,
something like that. Yeah.
It was like, all right, you guys attacking me now. I'm out of here.
I'll bow out.
Yeah, I'll bow out. You got it. You got this one. Because I mean, there's no, listen. At the end of the day, we say this over and over. he's our president, and I don't think this is the dog, the barking dog that chases the car thing that everyone's get him out of there. But you get this guy out of here, and you get fucking Mike Pence.
Yeah.
You have your vice president is horrible.
Yeah.
This guy will say, "Fuck it, I don't know how to do or manage this shit. Lock everything down, militarize this whole motherfucker."
That's right.
And just chill the fuck out until I figure it out. And we don't want that. No, I don't think anybody wants that.
I think we don't realize that Donald Trump is a symptom.
Yeah.
He is a symptom of what happens when you screw over working class people, which is what this country has done. Everybody has to put their feet to the fire to that. Democrats and probably mostly Democrats. Because Democrats are supposed to be the party for the working class and for the disenfranchised and stuff. But Republicans have their hands bloody with that too. You know, we've made it difficult for unions to at least like we don't want unions to negotiate.
Yeah.
And we don't want them, so we've kind of like put the working class person in a bind. Yeah. To which they say, well, it doesn't really matter what happens. You're going to get fucked anyway. Right. And so they say, okay, well, it doesn't really matter. Fuck. I want Donald Trump as my president. Yeah. And at least he, to his credit, he'll say the shit that everybody wants to be said. Yeah. And he's not a part of this establishment. Yeah. I remember when he was doing his campaign thing, he said, look, I bought all of you dudes. Right. I gave every single one of you guys a check. Right. I know how this game is run.
Right. Right. And you look at me like, no, you didn't. No, no.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I did.
Because that's what they told me to do. They said, if you pay, you play. You know what I'm saying?
And I wanted to play, and so I paid. Right. And I bought all of you.
Right. Even what about this guy, the Inquirer guy? What's his name?
The Inquirer guy?
The guy who owns the Inquirer. They just exposed that he made some payoffs to him.
Oh, to Donald Trump?
Well, vice versa. Trump and him had some payment deal or structured for this girl. I mean, for Stormy Daniels and all this other stuff. And they paid out Stormy Daniels for her stories. They said, hey, let me get you, get the juice, get this. Mm-hmm. And because he's a friend of Trump, he said, hey, what do you want me to do with these things? He said, throw them in the garbage. And I'll pay you whatever you paid her. So he said, don't air them. Mm-hmm. And he was like, okay. You know, so she got paid. She's thinking, oh, I'm watching. You know, I'm gonna buzz my shit in the tabloids, okay? And it's the story she wants, even though she knew they probably would try to spin it or do whatever else.
It's the Inquirer.
It's the Inquirer,
right?
So, and they just threw it away. They never aired it. They never showed. And he did that with a lot of shit. He had a lot of stories from people, from Hillary Clinton, from some good, some bad, and all the stuff about him. About Trump, he got to review and go, this puts me in a weird way. Not yet. Hold it until this way. And so Michael Cohen has all these recordings of, not recordings and ledgers of how every time it was benefit for him to run a story, he would push something out, or he would take something, push and pull with that. So I find that very odd and weird. Well, like you said, it's going on every time. It's been happening, but now you get to see, like, okay, this is how we use it. And for people to think that, ooh, we got this juicy news that we're hot off the press. It's so delivered to you. It's catered. It's
catered, right?
Yeah, it's produced.
It's catered in a certain way.
Super produced.
Which you got to put our news organizations at feet to the fire too, because a long time ago they seemed to trade access for objectivity.
Right.
They seem to say that, okay, well, it's more important that I sit on Air Force One than it is to be able to honestly speak about what I see.
Right, exactly.
And there's a lot of guys, Matt probably one of my favorite journalists is a guy named Matt Taibbi. He writes for the Rolling Stone.
Okay.
And he pretty much said the same thing. He said we came to this point where it was more important to be in the room than to speak objectively outside the room. It was more important for us to be inside the room. And so we did what we had to do to be inside the room.
How do you get there, right? You had to be a part of it, right? You had to subscribe to it.
Trump's his wailing against the press and whatnot, you can say that borders on inappropriate, because we should have a free press. But at the same time, this is the same press that sort of catered to him and didn't check him on stuff. Right. And CNN had an empty podium where Donald Trump was supposed to be hanging out, Meanwhile, Bernie Sanders was having a rally when he was having more people there, and they wouldn't cover it.
Right. No.
So you can't have it both ways.
This is true.
You know, you can't sniff this dog's ass, and when this dog turns around to bite you, well, that's the ass you've been sniffing.
Right.
So, you know, get with it. That chick gave you herpes. Well, that's the chick. That's the chick you've been following. That's the chick you've been following around. You've been buying her drinks, paying her fucking cable bill.
Yes.
Now she turned around and gave you herpes. Well, you didn't enjoy it, so that's what you wanted.
Oh man, that's fucking horrible.
Her and herpes is horrible because you keep it forever.
Ooh, sorry, I was trying to. So this way I could see who's chiming in.
Okay.
So it's live, even though that's live.
That's live, and this is live. Live square. That
was delayed, etc.
Live square. So the party was a turn up.
Party was a turn up, turn out. We specifically tried to not drink. Obviously, we were trying to hold on to being host, making sure that we were in charge, in control.
Okay.
Most of us tend to, kind of go all the way out, go a little overboard. But this was like when we go to other people. So we was like, look, we wanted everybody to have a good time. The food was amazing. Oh my God, the spread was fantastic. Everybody just was like, listen, man, this is some good fucking food.
That, it seems that you can't do both. It seems like you can't have good food and get totally fucking shitty drunk.
Yeah.
Like the two don't mix. So if you just had like butter beans and hot wings.
It's the second reference I've heard of butter beans. It's so funny. It's go ahead, keep going.
No, but I mean, if you just had like subpar food.
Yeah.
If you just had subpar food, you probably would have had a lot more drinking.
Yeah.
It's possible.
Yes.
But it seems like you had great food. And you talked about your briskets, your fried turkeys. And
we did not do the brisket this time.
No brisket?
We didn't do the brisket this time. We did fried turkeys. Thank you, Patty. Yes, it was a good time. Thank you. And Patty was awesome. Shout out to the ladies of Level 1. They really stepped up. So
ladies of Level 1.
Yeah.
So, LOL.
LOL. Ooh, LOL1. Okay.
Trademark, send the check too.
Wow. This guy thinks of all the cool shit. The wives really stepped up and helped us out. We had a meeting prior to it, which I thought was brilliant. Because they expressed some interest of saying, like, look, you guys do a great job of doing what you're doing, but you missed the fucking final touch. You missed you missed the cute shit. You know what I'm saying? And we do. We're man-ba-cute.
You do.
We don't do sides.
Right.
We're like it would have been
There's some turkey. Anything to go with this turkey? What?
No.
Huh?
Sauce, nigga.
Turkey. That's right.
That's a side for us, like barbecue or hot sauce. You know what I'm saying? That's the only option you're gonna get from us.
It's a vegetable.
So the women put some real. Gigi, one of Chaz's mom, kid we coach and stuff. Mm-hmm. She did an amazing table. I have some photos, and she put a nice, sprinkled shit on it, little cookies and cinnamon. It was just fantastic. Right.
So made it cute. Put some glue and glitter on stuff.
Yeah. And they came early. They set up. They really did a good job. I had to work the Friday because it was a Friday, so I had to work. I was in the city. I was trying to get out, and I was like. So I was e-bombing.
Yeah, I was gonna. It was funny. I was thinking about texting you on Friday, and I said to myself, you know what, this he's gonna be busy as fuck.
Well, I was e-bombing. So, are you familiar with e-bombing?
No.
You're not e-bomb? Okay, for you people who have jobs and give you a little tip on e-bombing. So e-bombing is when you have Microsoft Outlook. Okay. You use Outlook?
Yes.
Okay. So in your Outlook setting, you can, I type up all my emails and I draft them, right? So I don't send them until specifically. So what I'm doing is all the emails that I have to send out that have to be like my reports, my, surveys, all my shit is I time them. So I put in the delayed sending.
Okay.
So I delay send. I want this one at 1:15. I want this one at 2:30. Mm-hmm. This one at 4:45. This one at 5. So I'm giving away my secrets here. And so it just looks like, damn, he's firing away. Like he's sending on me while I jumped out and I went up.
Meanwhile, you've been home for like 3 days.
I went up to the Flame Keepers. I went to go see Grip.
Right, I saw that. Yeah.
I went to go see Grip. I needed a hat. I was like, I need something for the fucking party. I sent him a picture of the jacket. He had something really fly. Was like dope. And I was like, oh, that just may be too red for me. Like, I'll never wear this again.
Too red.
Yeah, it was too red. So he wanted to give me...
I saw that. You look like Erykah Badu when you put that on.
The red one?
Yeah.
It had the... Yeah, it had the...
That was a little too... Yeah, you're right. A little too red.
He was like, you can rock it full dome or we can crease it for you. And I was like, dude, the dome shit, that's a commitment. Like, I don't know how to wear this. I look like fucking Andre 3000 or some shit like that. So I was like, no, that one, that wasn't... that wasn't a good look for me, and then I picked that, and then the red just didn't go, so I went with a black one with a red. He threw a red band on it, which made it hot, and I wore that one. And I had a guy all night. I don't know who this guy was, and maybe if he's watching the show here, but he kept telling me how to wear my fucking hat all night. Like, yo, that shit is fire, B. Put a little tilt on it. I said, tilt your hat, man.
Right. Leave my hat alone.
Leave me alone, man. Every picture, yo, like, tilt it. Like, what are you, my fucking fashionista? Or
that's a character. See, that's another character. Like, anytime you do something, like you get ready to like eat a sandwich, it's, yo,
come on, man. I was like,
put them chips on there, bro.
Right. Damn, and I just everywhere he popped up, I'm looking at this guy, and he's like,
who invited this dude?
Yeah, I don't know who he came with, man. And he had a hat on. Okay, I get it. It was a hat club, like we were all in. A few guys wore hats, And I'm like, all right, cool, man. But he's like,
let me rock me.
Yo, get that. And he's like in the pit, like people taking pictures, and I'm like,
he's in all the pictures.
I'm like, who's this guy? Like he's like behind the camera, like.
What's gonna be funny is if you have a conversation, everybody's got the same question. Hey, who's this dude?
He wasn't in the pictures. He was behind the people taking, as if he was like a makeup person,
orchestrating the
like if he was the wardrobe guy, and he's sitting there going, "Yo, smile, my nigga," like that. Weird. Don't know his name, but shout out. But shout out to the Flame Keepers Hat Club, Money Grip in Harlem. Does an amazing job when you buy your hats from him. It's kind of like a woman going to a shoe store, like a famous, like a high-end shoe store. I mean, he really, you got the couch, you sit down, you can have a drink, you can,
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's a nice experience, and you feel kind of like you want to stay there a little bit.
What was I trying to say?
Eep, op, work.
Yeah, never mind.
No, but he really does a good job up there. He makes you feel, and he's a character. I mean, he could wear a top hat. I mean, it takes a lot to wear a fucking top hat.
Yeah, hats are, yes.
I mean, he wears a top hat, like a real big one with the clothes, and he's a very eccentric guy. I mean, he's got a lot of him. We've been trying to coordinate with him and get an interview with him to hear his story, because it is amazing from him starting.
We have to go up there.
Yeah, we should go up there. It would be a nice backdrop to put the hats behind us and just kind of catch like a Sunday morning or something early, which he's committed to, but he's just like, dude, time,
Yeah, time, and then he's running the business.
Because, he is. And when people come in the store, it's like, he has people coming from all over, like Dave Chappelle. He's got like people coming in, like really, buying shit from him, which is a good experience for him. But I really like that, he found a lane that fits him and his style. And his daughter's in a Broadway play. She's on.
Oh, really?
Damn, what the fuck is the name? I'm so terrible at this. She's in a play on Broadway that ends soon. It ends soon. She's only 10. She's
play 10. Musical?
Dancing, musical, kind of something. Sorry, Grip. If you can remember Grip.
Sorry, Grip.
You had a stalker. Sort of. He was kind of a sort of a stalker. A hat stalker. A Mad Hatter. But yeah, shout out to Money Grip and the Flame Keepers Hat Club. If you are interested, please look them up. They are on Instagram. And he's a Farmers Boulevard alumni, so he gets all the love from us and the crew.
You should make a rock hat.
A rock hat?
A hat that looks like the Rock.
Is this what a hat's supposed to look
like?
No,
not
pussies?
That Rock. The Liberty Avenue Rock.
Oh, Farmers Boulevard. A red, black, and green rock. After that podcast, I went back to go look for more and still can't find it.
Ironically enough, I started looking up like the history of like Jamaica Avenue and that part, yes. and I saw a couple like short like documentaries and stuff like that. Yeah, but trying to find some people who have a historical record as to what happened and what that damn rock is.
I know. There's a St. Albans community group, urban communities. I think it's called St. Alb, something like that. They say it was when they say something towards the effect of the Liberty Rock. What they said, the Liberty Farmers Rock. Okay, so they talk about farmers where there was a big farmers market there in Farmers Boulevard.
Okay, I believe that.
And the rock was the symbol of where the market was. Like they had a sign there saying this is where the Farmers Boulevard Market was.
I believe that it's. I'm inclined to believe that it served as a landmark for some reason. Yeah. Like it served as a landmark. Yeah, hey, we're coming from so and so. We're coming from so and so.
People came from Jamaica Avenue.
When you see the Rock, then we're there. You know what I'm saying?
You see the Rock. That's where the beginning of the marketplace was, and the street came that way. So that's as close as I got to finding out where it was, other than it being a staple for all rappers from Southeast, Northside Queens. Speaking of back in the days, history of Jamaica Avenue, the Merrick Theater. Okay, do you know this?
The Merrick Theater. Which one?
Okay, so we talked about theaters last time, and we were talking about like the Alden and the Keith.
Alden and RKO Keith.
But the Merrick Theater was on the same corner that we're talking about, which is 168th Street, right? Where Blimpies was corner, where the train came at the end.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, you got to remember, you got to go back in time, and where the train ended at the end was the Merrick. That was on the right, across the street was the Merrick Theater, and that was they had like Dizzy Gillespie, they had like Lena Horne. I mean,
it was more like a concert hall. It was more like
it was a real theater. Like, and the Coliseum, which is now our Coliseum, that was Macy's.
Right.
Okay, so it was the opening of Macy's, and I think this is like in the 30s, 40s, or something like that. Really long time ago. And oddly enough, the image of the Merrick Theater on the side of the theater has the two metal staircases, which for years, when the bus comes out of the terminal, and you have the Encore Club and the library, and the bus comes out. So oddly enough, the documentary just released of Who Killed Jam Master Jay. Right?
Okay.
Have you seen it?
No.
Pretty fucking, not good because it's still unsolved. That's number one. But it was a good piece together of the JMJ, how it all went down, who was there. And a lot of speculation in the hood because a lot of us know a lot of the characters and the people that are involved in it. So everyone had this total speculation of who did it, who, why, and it's always about some cash, some money, or whatever. And when it all boils down to it, I say this to say is that there was a horrific scene when it happened. Do you remember when Jim S.J. was killed?
I remember hearing about it. Okay. I can't remember if I was in New York at the time.
It was such a travesty. I mean, like for me, being a Hollis Queens kid,
right,
and to hear that he was killed in his own studio, horrible. I mean, it was a horrible thing to even hear. Then don't tell me it's true. And we didn't have the social media, so I don't even know how the word got around that fast. And this wasn't that long ago. This was 2000. I mean, we didn't have, maybe we had phones, maybe we had, I don't know. Yeah, we did have cell phones, Nextels and all that other shit.
Nextels, and people had their pages.
But the reason I bring this up for talking about the history of Jamaica Avenue, because if you look at the old pictures of the Merrick Theater, you will see the staircase where they drug his body down, bringing it down the steps. And, it was such a horrible scene of watching.
They?
I mean, the coroners.
Oh, okay.
The coroners drug.
I thought you meant like after he was
in a body bag.
Okay,
I mean, because you had to go up these
steps
to go to his crazy studio. It was in the top of the theater. It was they subleased this whole thing out, and you had all these entrances and etc. And when they brought the body out, that fire escape, that big, it's woo. It really hurts if you've had any interaction. I mean, my guys have had some.
Yeah, well, it's personalized.
Man. But to show damn, man, just bringing this guy body on a gurney, wrapped up, and you see those steps of the Merrick Theater, which is iconic landmark, part of why they could never tear it down. They always had to restore it or whatever else. So that was what I was just bringing up the Merrick Theater. But if you go back and look at those era. Man, the Jamaica Avenue era was amazing. We're drowning. Slee stacks are coming. No, it was time. Boop. It was a fantastic time in the prowess. I mean, I don't know the makeup of the people. It wasn't obviously that much African Americans or whatever it is now. But fun times.
Yeah.
So what else is going on in the crazy world of?
I finished that Quincy Jones documentary.
I didn't see that one.
You didn't?
I saw there's two, right?
There's two, right?
Okay, I saw the first one. I didn't see this one where it was supposedly a little rawer. Rawer. Yeah.
The one I saw was called Quincy. It's called Quincy. And,
is this when he had the stroke and all this other stuff? Okay,
mm-hmm.
so now and it opened up with Dr. Dre.
I think yes.
Okay.
Yes.
You see it?
It culminated with something he was doing when they opened up the African American History Museum in D.C. That was the culmination.
Yes, he did the choreograph. He produced
the score and produced it and got everybody together and stuff like that. But it did. I don't know about the other one, but it did have a lot of history.
Did it talk about Marlon Brando fucking Richard Pryor?
No.
Okay, then that's not the second one. That's not the second. The second one is the raw one where he talks about Marlon Brando fucked Richard Pryor. That's the one I want to see. That's a shame. That's the one I want to see because he tells.
Where is that on the? You gotta dig to find that.
I think you gotta. I mean, I don't know where it is. I mean, a lot of other radio personalities have spoke about it. Some of them said they were involved in it. And it's just been maybe it's now an urban myth. It's like the album we never got from Dr. Dre. Aftermath or the
Aftermath 2?
Something like that.
Aftermath. How can you have a second Aftermath?
Well, the group
that means you weren't done. It means you weren't done.
Yeah, it's true.
Aftermath. Just kidding.
Just kidding.
That was the middle.
How about the prequel? The pre-math.
the pre-math?
Yeah.
The pre-math?
No, we were promised an album from Dr. Dre with Rakim. Remember, Rakim was signed to Dr. Dre for years.
Ooh, okay.
That never happened. Busta was signed to Dr. Dre. Never happened. It's I guess it's difficult,
I would assume so. I would assume it's difficult, and plus, once you're signed to something, then I don't know, it kind of like takes. Like what happens after that? Like what? Like because now you have a hierarchy.
Well, that's the problem with
you have this point into which they're pretty much going to control everything.
Yeah,
and they're going to control everything based on, market, and they got to make some money out of it. If they're not making any money out of it, well, they're not going to. It might be good for you, the artist, to have this kind of exposure, but you know what? That costs me money. So if that's going to cost me money. I can't get with that. So I mean, who knows what happens in all those.
But there's been a big, since the Leo Cohen interview on the Breakfast Club.
Okay.
There's been this big unveiling as if it was new. It's not new. I mean, Jay-Z kind of told everybody about these 360 deals way back when, and a 360 deal in music is basically the label has 360 degrees of your work.
Right.
So they book your shows, publishing, everything. They have everything. And in return, you get to perform. You get to put your shit out. And you get to go. But they get everything. They get touring. They get merch. They get...
Right.
So you give away all of that to get out there.
Right. And the money that you think that you're getting is actually pays for them because they're considering themselves fronting X amount of dollars for your tour, for your...
It baffles me to this day of every artist that acts like they got... put into a raw deal, like they were, I got jerked and whatever else,
and it seems like it's like that's the deal,
right? That
is the deal. Right. There is no other deal. The only other deal is for you to do it on your own.
Correct. And so we're seeing, a lot of artists are self-promoting, putting themselves out. That's the biggest thing now. All these artists, I did all of this without a deal, and I'm on Billboard and I don't even have a record deal.
Right.
Like, a record deal doesn't, is not what it used to be. You know what I'm saying? Because there's no such thing as a record.
There's no such thing as a record, and there's no such thing as somebody will give you access to something that you don't have access to yourself.
Right.
You don't have that. I mean, word of mouth access and what you can get on the internet is now just as powerful.
Yeah.
And if you have that following, remember that dude we met in the bar in
Said he was a rapper?
Said he was a rapper, and then said he was trying to get his stuff out and stuff like that. Yeah, in the Mineola bar. Yeah. And so we told the dude, we said, well, you got a following on Instagram. He said, yeah, I got X amount of thousands of followers. We were like, put your stuff out there.
Right.
Put your stuff out there to your followers. They'll like your stuff. They'll either resend it and stuff like that. You're going to have to come out of pocket to do it, of course.
Yeah, of course.
But then all of a sudden, you are this guy that has 30,000 followers loving these 4 or 5 songs. Somebody will say, "Hey, who is this dude? Let's get this dude on a tour. Let's get this dude on in a show. And then you have something that you can present to somebody and say, "Hey, this is what we have." That's the same argument we had about Monique when Monique was complaining about how she didn't she didn't get a certain offer that she didn't like. And we're like, you're spending all this time on this platform
talking about the platform.
You could put your shit on this platform and then absorb it and say, okay, this is how much I'm worth.
Well, yeah, because I mean, Dave Chappelle filmed his shit without a deal. Like he filmed all those segments and was like, you guys want some of this? You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man, you better get in here.
But he was also doing he would also go to Washington Square Park and then start doing his shit. Just start. If there were 4 people there, he just start doing his stuff when he decided he was going to come back.
I really like Dave Chappelle. I think he's a class act. I think he's figured it out. I mean, he's definitely got the wherewithal. And he gets it. You know what I'm saying? And he understands what people are looking for and what they want, and how to monetize it. And he makes no excuses for getting paid for it. Which at some point we all have to stop excusing ourselves for getting rewarded for
Yeah, well, especially when you do it on your own, because we were all like baffled when he turned down that money when that third season of Chappelle Show, when he just said, you know what, I'm not doing this anymore.
But I think that's what, like, if you go back, that's what made it like great that it's over. Like, imagine if the Chappelle Show had kept going on, you'd get tired of it.
Probably would, yeah.
I think now you'd be tired of it. Now I want to see the new sketch comedy show.
Right.
Who's the next sketch comedy?
Right.
Wild 'N Out is close. They have a different format. You watch Wild 'N Out with you don't like Nick Cannon, right?
I'm not a big no.
Yeah. He's a funny guy. I'm not fond of him either, because now he's wearing these turbans, which is fucking. The Harriet Tubman shit he's wearing, I'm like, all right, I get it, man. You trying to, spark a trend or something else and be different, which is cool, but I'm not feeling that, man. I don't like the look. I just think it looks silly.
It looks manufactured. It just looks like an attempt to do something as opposed to be authentic.
It's like the Hannibal Buress joke of the handlebar mustache. Don't look at me crazy because I'm looking at you. Like you don't have a handlebar mustache. You have a fucking handlebar mustache on, and I'm staring at you.
Hannibal Buress.
Yeah.
I wonder what Bill Cosby thinks of Hannibal Buress. Because it's like his joke that kind of like got this
tipped the iceberg.
Tipped the iceberg. He's like, you don't know he rapes people? Everybody say, hey, wait a minute. Hannibal Buress said Bill Cosby rapes people. Is that true?
But it kind of put him in a weird space too, because he was kind of on the rise of being that guy, but then he doesn't have the space anymore. Like I don't see. He's funny as shit. I love him. I listen to him all the time. But I don't know where he fits in the world today. Like I don't know where he doesn't fit in, because you got like guys like Little Rel with the there's like a space for a goofy black guy with the glasses. I think when he took his glasses off, he lost it. Who,
Hannibal Buress?
Yes.
You think so?
He doesn't wear his glasses anymore. And
okay, I didn't notice that.
No, he wears his face is and he looks like a fucking cartoon. Mm-hmm. He looks like when they drew us in the cartoon. And I'm like, no, I really thought the glasses was the gimmick. Like that was it. Like the guy with the glasses and the Coke bottle.
Well, some guys get a couple gigs and then they stop. I mean, I don't know if he stopped doing stand up after he got all these other gigs,
movie deals and stuff,
stuff like that. Like El Ray, he was never really a stand up guy.
Who?
El Ray. I mean, Lil Rel. Excuse me. God damn.
El Ray. Wait, you said it backwards.
No.
El Ray.
I think I did say it backwards. I'm thinking of that Dominican spot on Archer Avenue. Archer and Parsons.
Nice.
It's called El Ray. It's nice. So, but so it I don't know. Once you get out of that, you sort of like trade it in for like wanting the big pie.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm saying that right.
Well, yeah, you
like because I don't think you can. It's hard to occupy both.
Yeah.
It's very rare to be able to occupy both. Like Kevin Hart can occupy both.
Yeah.
He comes out with his movies, and then he'll do his stand up. He'll sell out arenas and stuff like that, and have a killer freaking stand up routine. But then you see other people, like I don't know if Tiffany Haddish is still doing stand up.
I don't think no. I've seen one special from her where she kind of did all right. She held it down.
Yeah,
she could hold.
But
I don't
know if she still does stand up anymore. If she's like she's getting her gigs, getting paid, of course. But still, I don't know if she's still doing stand up. I don't know if you can do that.
Well, again, I think I blame social media and the speed and consumption of art. we're just consuming it too fast.
Consume it too fast.
That it's okay. Now what? It's like, because if I saw your shtick, you know what I'm saying, your joke or your thing, it doesn't make me want to watch it again. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to watch Tiffany Haddish again.
I see. Okay, I see what you're saying.
I don't like. You'll go back and listen to Richard Pryor and and you pick up little things, or Eddie Murphy. Right. You know, I could watch Eddie Murphy movie again and again. You know, years after, and still watch it again. Once I've seen a Haddish movie, I kind of don't want to see it again. Like,
because it's Tiffany Haddish. It's always correct. Tiffany Haddish. It's always right. I see what you're saying.
I've not seen her immerse herself into a character
that's something else.
Right, like the Night School with her and Kevin Hart. Even he started to become a little bit more of a, all right, I get it. You know you're playing this part, and but you're still Kevin Hart. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I'm saying this to say some characters are known for their character name and their real name, right? Right. So if you don't know the character name of them, like, you really didn't buy into it. You still call her Tiffany Haddish. You still call her
Tiffany Haddish, right?
You know.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
I'm just saying. I mean, not that I can name anybody else. You know.
But that exposure stuff, it swings both ways, because now everybody hates Kevin Hart because he said something he did in his stand-up routine and whatnot
for the Oscars,
and now he bowed out of his Oscar gig. Which, I mean, props to him for being a bigger man and stepping away. Yeah. I would have forced them to fire me. I mean, it's hard to be in that.
Was that the criteria? Was that the setup?
Well, I think he decided to just step down and just not to
take the gig,
not to take the gig and whatnot. But it's all bullshit.
Yeah.
You know, first of all, it was a joke. People forget you're a fucking comedian.
True.
So he had it as it was a joke.
Yeah.
And I think the joke was, if he came home and saw his son playing with a dollhouse, he'd break it over his head and say, "You're not gay," or some shit like that, or whatever. Now that's a joke. He's a comedian.
Right.
It's a joke.
Right.
And so apparently, and I don't get these people who dig shit up, who just like you know. So all of a sudden,
you want to say that? Remember, let's go back when you said this.
Right. So all of a sudden, Chad O and 11-1 become huge.
Right.
Become huge. They're doing their thing. They're on private jets, and oh my goodness, Chad O's gonna host the BET Awards and whatnot. And all of a sudden, hey, in 2014, you said you don't like gay people crossing the street with ice cream cones. Get him out of here.
I'm not apologizing. But you know,
or this kid, the kid who won the Heisman Trophy, Kyler Murray.
Oh, is that what he did?
Dude won the Heisman Trophy, right? Mm-hmm. Some reporter literally went back through all of his tweets and found a homophobic tweet this kid made when he was 14. 14 years old. Didn't know what the fuck he was doing. The kid is now 21, and now you've tarnished probably the greatest moment that this guy's had in his life.
Yeah.
He was 21. And now some shit he did when he... I mean, do you want to account for shit you did when you were 14?
Yeah.
Fuck no.
No. Yeah. Hell no.
I mean, can we... No. Come on, man.
Hell no. I you know... It's so frustrating that the Twitter sphere, you know, that we have given, you know, Twitter so much power.
Yes.
We've literally just allowed this thing to rule our life, and it's...
We have made it sort of... We've made it a god in a sense.
Yes.
Because we bow down
a deity.
A deity, okay.
A deity. I'm not going to go as far as a god.
Well, but okay. But
a deity. We've made it this existential being that...
Right.
Oh my God! Did you see what they're saying on Twitter?
Right.
Did you see? I mean, like we're literally writing a new script for ourselves. For, you know, like we said this before. If the aliens are reading the Twitter feeds, they'll be like, "Fuck that planet."
These places
are nuts. These guys are. Wait a minute. She's fucking him. That one talks about that, but he said this, and he don't like that, and what?
And you have this. Two things happen. Like you sort of this virtue signaling that goes on where you kind of like, look how moral of a person I am. I'm going to point out these homophobic tweets that Kevin Hart made a long time ago, and that means I'm a great human being and I'm a decent person and stuff. But I also have anonymity because I would never come up to you personally
you, right.
and say, hey, you know what? You said some things way back about, you know, blah, 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 blah. And because that makes, now you're accountable to
it.
Right. You could just like tweet and then you can just go and masturbate when you're done. And that's it.
These are thumb thuggers. We're calling them thumb thugs.
You know, you can say whatever you can say whatever you want. You can say it in the net, you know, and everybody's.
You type with all thumbs.
Do I type with all thumbs?
There's no finger. I do a finger.
Yeah, I guess.
When I go to reach that letter too far.
Yeah, but when I'm like, if I'm on the train and if I'm doing something and because I got the big phone, I got the big plus, and I can't hold it in my hand.
Yeah.
And do it. When the phone was smaller, I could do everything.
You can hold it all in one.
I could hold it all in one, and not worry about somebody. Like my phone is big, and so when it gets crowded on the train, I don't take my phone out.
Yeah.
Because I'm worried about somebody walking by and just snatching my phone out of my hand.
Why?
When the phone was smaller, I at least had it I had it like in my hand like that. You know, and I wasn't worried about it. I'm not saying anybody in particular, but if your phone is, you know, because if your phone is like a little bit of a size, there's all this out here. So if somebody wanted to, they could just come by.
Well, I'm more afraid of it being knocked over. I think you're more afraid of it being tipped or knocked.
True, and that as well.
Like, you know.
Yeah, because that never ends being the guy that like does that and the shit falls on the
on the flat side,
falls on the track. I was standing next to a dude who pulled out his phone. And the thing just went under the track, and we all just looked.
Not much you could do about that.
And I pretty much said, bro, just get another phone.
That's if you think you go, hey,
get another phone.
Call me when whistle if the next train is coming, and I can duck.
Have you ever been without your phone?
Yes.
What does it feel like?
Like I left my phone.
So no like panic.
No.
Oh shit! What am I gonna do?
No.
Okay.
No.
Like
okay. So I have two phones, unfortunately. One for street equity and my business and level 1 and all that other stuff, and the other one for work. My work phone is
9
just
to 5.
work.
You're 9 to 5.
Yes. And when I leave that one home, that's the one that I panic about. So then all I'll do is, you know, I'm pretty tech savvy. I'll go onto the website. I forward all the codes from that one to this one and do it. Now, even now, I have a Google Voice. You know, I have a couple of Google Voices, and I could just forward it to that. And all the calls will register. And you know, I'm pretty savvy when it comes to the gadget shit because I'm a fucking.
So you know
whore.
what Plan B is.
Yes.
You know what Plan B is.
Okay, so maybe that's what it is.
And you're not worried about.
No.
Because some people can't. Some people like don't have their phone and they lose their fucking mind.
Yes.
Because they have no. Because I think a lot of people place like their value through that interaction.
Yes.
Through that interaction.
It's a currency.
On Facebook, Twitter, you know, Instagram feeds, all the stuff like that. All of a sudden, that gives you value.
Yeah.
You know, and if you can't do that, then all of a sudden it questions like your value. And we talked about this before.
The pheromones or
if that's what you're saying, if those interactions are the interactions that you're placing value on, when you don't have it, then it's lost. It's almost the same thing as if you had a bunch of friends and then for some reason you were away from your friends for a while. You would feel a certain loss, because you weren't with people who you were interacting with. Well, we've given away that interaction because we've traded that interaction for what we do on our 100%. Phone. And so it's not that you try to act like it's not important, but what you've done is you've kind of like sold any interaction you have with people. You don't want to stick your face up out of your phone to say hello to somebody when they're walking down the street. It's
true.
So when you lose your phone, it's like, where do I fit in?
No, okay, losing it is one thing. Leaving it home is another. I mean, losing it is
not having it. Yeah, not having it.
Yeah, not having it is I'm okay. If I know where it is. I mean, losing it is batshit crazy.
Right, because it's a piece of property. It's a piece of property. You need to know where your property is.
Yes, it's a mess to get another one to this to that and what I had on there, what I didn't have on there, but I'm so cloud. I have nothing's on this phone. Nothing's on it. Everything is somewhere. So I can retrieve everything. There's nothing that I can throw this thing in the garbage right now and still have every detail that I have, because I'm so cloudy. I'm Dropbox crazy. I'm so cloudy. Yeah, from everything. But there was one Wednesday it was. Wednesday. Yes, it was Wednesday. I wanted to record something. You know how you get I should. This is the one I wanted to record, and I couldn't.
Didn't have your phone with you?
I had my phone on it, but it was in my inside pocket. That I was cold. I was zipped up and bundled. It was in my inside pocket because I was listening to music and like I don't have to touch it. You know, it's Bluetooth, and I have the Bluetooth headphones on. But this guy was walking with packing peanuts. A shitload of packing peanuts. I was like this. I said, look, this guy can't, there's no way he can make, I don't know how far he's going, but this thing is, he had a hand truck that was maybe as skinny as this, and he had like a double wide roll of packing peanuts, like 12 bags of them. Huge. A lot of fucking packing peanuts. So I'm like, this is not going to go well. This is not going to go well. So he's rubbing, the tires are rubbing on the thing. And I'm walking behind him. I'm like, oh, no, here it goes. And I'm like, oh, shit, it popped. Poof. Packing peanuts all across Broadway. And I'm like, yo. I'm calling the guy. He's got headphones on. He can't hear.
Was he pulling it or pushing it?
He was pulling it.
Oh, okay.
He doesn't realize he's leaving a trail.
Of packing peanuts. Well, you know where to find Broadway. Him.
And I was like, oh shit! I should have recorded this. That would have been funny.
Did you trail and pick up the packing peanuts?
No, I actually, oddly enough, I had a conference call that I was like late for, and I didn't want to do it in the street. So I was like, give me 5 minutes. I'll be at my office. And I'll be right there. And the packing peanuts. I couldn't tell him, hey, I was late because I'm watching a story of packing peanuts.
I got trapped behind the guy who got carried away with the packing peanuts.
You guys didn't see all the fucking packing peanuts? You know, that's one thing about Manhattan. That something that you think is like crazy and catastrophic
is almost every day.
And everyone is like, what the fuck? So what? Like, that wouldn't be funny to somebody at my job, for sure. Like, if I go to in the office and I'm like, hey, it was a guy with packing peanuts. You have the reports. You have the, like, fucking packing peanuts. That's not, we don't care about that, you know. There's a girl on my job. She does that all day long. Did you hear about the bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich and this guy on Twitter and this? And they're like, can you focus here? We're here. We need work done. We got some shit going on here. Yeah, it's crazy times.
Well, some things you see in New York that you're no longer, like, maybe there was a point in time where you were shocked by it.
Yeah.
But then you know, like if you walked on the subway and you saw somebody sleeping on the subway car, it wouldn't. It's not a thing.
Yeah, it's not.
It's okay. You know, I guess I'm not sitting there.
It ended. Our live session. It's only an hour on Instagram.
That's right. It's only an hour on Instagram.
Only an hour, you fuckers. So that ended. Thank you, people, for joining us. But that's you fuckers. We're still here.
You're still,
yeah.
Oh, we're over here now.
Yeah, we're here. We've always been here. So yeah, some things are just not interesting to other people. I get it. Holidays are coming. Are you feeling the frenzy for Miles? Is it?
No.
Okay.
No. He's what? He's
8 months.
Not even. He'll be 5 months. He'll be 5 months.
What's his actual date?
27th.
What?
27th.
Of? I don't remember.
July.
Okay.
You remember when he was born?
Yeah, I do, but I didn't. Yeah.
No, 27 July. So
wow.
He'll be 5 months.
Wow.
And there isn't much, like...
Yeah.
There isn't much celebrate. I mean, yes, they're celebrating, but, you know, it's not like he's going to say, oh, I remember when I was 5 months old. I was...
Right.
No, he's not going to be any
I see.
So it's all of that, you know, like what makes you feel good. Right. It's going to make you feel good to wrap up a present.
That you bought him this is...
Exactly.
I mean, that probably...
I am looking for a Hess truck, though. We talked about this a couple weeks ago. I am looking for a Hess truck.
They got the whole thing, that RV. You
used to be able to get them at Hess.
Yeah.
Is there a Hess anymore?
The last one I remember is on Elmont Road and it's gone.
Okay.
I thought it was there. I went by there and it was gone.
What about the one on Hillside Avenue? The one on Hillside and...
I know exactly what you're talking about. It used to be across from the old... we used to be across from where we get the videos from.
Right.
The video store. That used to be fun.
The video store?
Going to a video store?
Yeah.
Like walking to it and knowing you had 3 out, but you could only get 3.
You can only get 3 back, and then
you had to return.
Why didn't you rewind it? Fuck, right. I got to give him an extra $1 now because, you know.
Please be kind and rewind. Yeah, they brought out the rewinder, the automatic rewinder.
The automatic rewinder that you put it in.
Stick it in. It was just a rewinder.
And then you remembered how you figured out how you could, like, if you took the tape, and then if you shoved the tape in the tab, you could actually record over that tape. When we figured that out,
that was with
you
regular
could record over those things. Well, yeah, but they had the tab on there, and so you popped the tab off, which means you couldn't record on it. But then if you just fill that tab back up with something,
put tape over it,
or tape over it, whatever, then you can record over it.
Those were the days when if your tape was trash, I was taping over your shit.
Right.
Like, I was like, listen, man, this shit. I don't never need to hear this again.
This ain't nothing.
I need a blank tape.
There's like 9 seconds of decent shit on here.
Yeah. Yeah, high-speed dub and tape. That was good old times, man. That was good old times.
And you can see, and sometimes, depending on how much you taped over it, you could see the trace of the other shit that you taped over in the background.
In video?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
We had some video. So years ago, we had created this tape. I made this tape. It was called the FBI tape because it was Farmers Boulevard International, whatever we called it. We called it FBI tape. And I literally produced a fucking sketch comedy show, with all my friends. And my friend Sherrod Griffin had a fucking camera that was the size of Channel 5. And it took a full VHS tape in it. And I used to I was like, dude, get the camera. We're going to go out. We're going to do some skits and some, And they just looked at me like I was retarded. Like, they were like, this is not funny. Like, this is not. But when I chopped it and edited it and played, like, I would do this. Like, we had this just little bullshit skits where we was like, I said, just hold your hands out and look in the sky like, oh. And then we pause it. And then we put, the kid in the hand is his little brother Bobby. And I said, now hold him up already. And then bring him down like this. And then it was like, oh, and it was like, and people were like, holy shit, that was amazing. Like, do it again. Like, and we played it back. It was so much fun, man. We used to rap on it, talk on it, and the fucking lady, Mike's friend, recorded over it.
Oh!
And what she recorded over it was some bullshit, man. Like, her and another friend of theirs going through a water sprinkler in front of their house. I was like, you went over the FBI tape for this
with this bullshit?
For this shit?
With this summertime shit?
Oh my God. And what you said was true. You can
see
it in the background.
You can see a frame. Every once in a while, a frame will go past.
This is the thing. Or when you skip and pause, you saw a little bit of. Oh man, we had a session on there with MC Shan. Mike was recording with MC Shan at his crib. He had a studio out in Long Island. Shout out Big D. He used to manage him and do all this stuff. And he used to be, y'all need to come out and see Shan. So we used to go out there to Center Reach.
Center Reach. Mm-hmm.
All the way out there in Suffolk County. Like, damn.
Yeah, that's a trip.
What you live out here for? It's not New York, man. This is like, you don't get radio down here, nothing. Yeah, no signals, nothing. And we used to record and I'm like, you taped over all this shit. We had so much footage and freestyles and stuff that we put together, and it was years of work. Like, it was years of stuff that used to be year after year, and it was edited and and culminated. I used to take cartoons and put music to them. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Because the cartoon the mouth is just going,
right.
And it was like. Dun, 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 dun. It was like rap songs because there was no videos. There were no videos.
Right.
Now people are doing them. Now they're doing them on YouTube, and they're like, "Yo, this shit is crazy." They got Little Kim over, Dora the Explorer and shit.
Right.
And I'm like, man, I did that shit 30 years ago.
Yeah.
30 years ago, I did this, and the Jerky Boys, the prank calls.
Right.
We used to do that shit.
We used to do prank calls. Yeah, I remember you doing prank calls all the time.
Prank calls were great.
Prank calls were awesome.
We had a prank call which was one of the best ones ever, and that we taped on tape. We had Nicole and a couple guys on 184th Street when I used to hang out with Herm and all those on Henderson, right? And I did hi, this is Joe Carson of WKPG in Orlando. You've just won your essay has been handed to us for blah blah blah, and you're gonna win this a new edition concert. And can you tell us the name of your school so you can verify? And by the way, you're on the air right now. And they were like, oh my God, I did submit a paper, but I'm not sure. How did you get it? Well, your teachers at Andrew Jackson High School have subscribed you because we knew them from the school. And we gave the teacher's name, and we gave it, and it was like, you and 3 other friends can enjoy accommodations at the Orlando Kissimmee Hotel with the concert with New Edition. Dude, they were on 10. You could hear them in the houses next door. So we come outside. We're sitting on the stoop. We play our music, sit on the stoop, drink 40s, and drink beers and all this shit. And they was like, y'all motherfuckers ain't going nowhere. Y'all gonna be on this block all your life. We going to Orlando. See New Edition. How? Girl, I'm gonna wear my this. I'm gonna wear my... And we was like, word? Y'all going there? We was on the radio. And we was like, word? And I said, did the guys... Was his name Mr. Carson from... And she was like...
That's the shit you should have recorded.
You motherfucker.
That's the shit you should have recorded.
She was like, You're Mr. Carson? It's like, and you and 3 other friends are going to Orlando. She was like, I'm gonna kill you.
Looks like you still on this block with us.
Look like you're gonna be right here with us. Yo,
go get me some Chinese food.
They was so hype over this shit. They was like, yo, we going. They was telling everybody they won a contest. They going, it's real. The white guy called us.
White guy.
White guy.
Wow, here we go again.
Yeah.
It
was real.
It had to be.
A white guy called us.
Yo, you want to go to Orlando?
Yeah. And then we played the recording of them because we were recording them on the phone, and it was like, yo, foul motherfuckers, you're playing with us. We know we love New Edition. It was crazy. And then they invented Star 69 that fucked everything up.
Yeah, you call right
caller
back.
ID.
Caller ID. You can call right back.
I know this is you, Ray Ray. It says Ray Ray.
It says Ray Ray. How you know it was me? Because it says Ray Ray.
Ray Ray. Ray Ray.
And by the way, change your name on your damn phone bill.
Yeah. Well, that's always been a thing with. I remember years ago. Everton told us, he said, listen, your email is going to be, your identity, so pick your name as your email, not Pookie's father,
right.
big luscious lips,
luscious
409,
luscious thing, anal bastard,
right. And it's so true, and I did that with Ron. Ron's had the same email and phone number all his life since he was like, I think 10 years old. He's 25 now, so that's a long time, But he's always had just his Teron W. I've always had Oran W. Just simple. And I've had others. You can make those up as you go along. But there's a friend of ours that just told us recently. He was like, yeah, I just dropped my AOL.
AOL.
I was like, you paying? Where? Where do you even pay this? Where do you send the money to? He was, take it out of my account for my emails. And I was like, for what? Oh, I just. Like, you pay for fucking AOL? In 2018, you should be entitled to a refund. A serious one. A retroactive refund. I think they stopped that in like 2000 or something like
And look, somebody's got a nice house because he kept paying that damn bill.
He said he just dropped it. I don't know if he meant he just not signed into it ever again. Because it's like these things you have forever. Like, they just don't go away. But I was like, wait, you pay for it? You still... He was like, yeah. I said, does it still say that you got... It does. He said, when you sign into AOL, it says you got mail. Like, I don't have AOL. I haven't used it in fucking forever.
Listen, when you hear the word AOL, I'm thinking somebody's dead. It can't be like...
Yo, I couldn't believe it. So he will remain nameless. I don't know if he... I don't even think he knows. Some people... I have a lot of friends that just have no idea. I don't know. Email, website, whatever the fuck it is. They just don't know the difference.
They just don't know the thing. It was on the computer.
Yeah.
He did it on the computer. Did what on the computer?
The file. I'd be like, the file? What file?
Call me on the computer.
And a lot of people tell you, like, tell me what it is to send it, and I'll do it. And I'll be like, yo, you need... Like, some people will send me a screenshot for the shirt, right? And I was like, can you tell me where you got the image
where you generated the image
where did it come from? My phone. And I'm like, but you saw it somewhere? Yeah, and I took a picture of the page that I got it from. What page? I don't know. I was just browsing for something. I said, I need the source of it. Where'd you get it from? Where? But like, because I need you to email it to me, the resolution. So they'll email me the picture they took. Is that better? I'm like, it's the same fucking picture. It's the same fucking image you sent it. You just emailed it to me. And he's like, well, I thought if it came in the email.
Hold on, let me check with my AOL.
You like it better.
Let me check with my AOL. Make sure they sent it right. Maybe they didn't send it right on my AOL.
You've got mail. So, what's the weather this week? Are we getting some snow for winter?
I have no idea. I haven't paid attention. I know it looks kind of dreary.
And what happened to the crazy weather alert we were supposed to have? The farmers market or somebody came out with almanac guys and came and said, "I'm about to have a crazy fucking winter."
Oh yeah.
You don't remember that? It was like 2 weeks ago. It was like this whole presidential file of the Department of Agriculture and weather, like from NASA, like a big thing. Like, guys, buckle down. We're gonna have a weird winter.
Well, I mean, who knows? It might be weird. I mean, they had a snowstorm down in the southeast.
Those have been pretty bad.
A few days ago. Yeah,
even in Carolinas have been getting some.
Yeah. My daughter said she got like about 10 inches.
Nice.
Yeah, 10 inches.
They have no idea what to do with it.
Of snow. Probably not. Those areas when they get snow, they all freak out. They all start to freak out because they don't know what to do. And I think the townships don't know what to do because they don't have, like, most of them don't have, like, salt spreaders and salt, shit like that.
Well, if they were agricultural, they should have some sort of machinery.
You figure they would have something, right?
Something to grow shit.
Well, it depends on where you are. I mean, I think if you're by the coast, you don't have much. I mean, if you're by the mountains, I'm sure that they have something because if you're closer to the mountains, then you're going to have some level of snow. But if you're by the coast in the south, yeah, probably not. I know Atlanta freaks out when they get snow. Yeah, Atlanta they have no idea. It's like it's evil. Yeah, it's like evil. Remember that picture when everybody's like hanging out in 7-Eleven overnight for like 2 inches of snow that they had
at 7-Eleven?
Yeah, there's like 2-3 years ago they had a snowstorm, basically which amounted to 2 hours of like 2 inches of snow. Ooh. And people just wouldn't drive, and so there was this picture of people just like hanging out in this 7-Eleven.
We ain't going nowhere till this shit is gone.
Right. And and of course those of us who live in New York were like, what are you talking about?
It's not fucking snow.
This is not even enough to have a fight. It's not even enough to be a pain in the ass.
Right.
It's not even
fuck. I know it's weird. Different cities have crazy. I'm even hearing a friend of mine, well, not so much a friend of mine, but a guy that hangs out in the bar by my office. He went on like this European cruise, and he said it was the worst because the weather was so fucked up that they was like, we've never even had this kind of weather ever. Like, you just got lucky, picked the wrong week. Yeah. And he said some like Galapagos Islands that were supposed to be fantastic. Greek islands, they were drained. Wow. The tide went so far out that it was marsh and it was gooey and the boat couldn't even go through.
Boat couldn't get there, yeah.
Boat couldn't get there. So they were supposed to see this wonderful island. It didn't happen because it's like, what? It was like, yeah. Times are changing.
Times are changing. Things change. Hopefully that tide doesn't come back anytime soon, though. Because that's the shit to worry about. Yeah. Because when the tide goes out, the tide's coming back. So how is it coming back?
Yeah. I called you before because I was in an argument with some guys about rock bands and stuff. And that's what I was texting
you about. Gary Clark Jr.?
Yes.
Yeah. And well, what was the argument?
It wasn't really an argument. It was some kid was saying that there's a new band that has like the hottest drummer and and guitarist or whatever else. And I said, I think this is who my brother was talking about or whatever, but that wasn't the name. Okay. He mentioned another band that was really having that a nostalgic run. Like they're having a good run of. I don't know. I want to say I remember the name and I don't. Plantaris or something, like a weird name. Okay. And he said they're really having a great run because they've embraced the older rock style, with some of the newer language. Okay, so you have the younger language, but the style of the, like I stared into her eyes, made it, and then turning it into just more of a, instead of like I tweeted her, you know what I'm saying? Like
I got you.
The younger kids, they say stupid shit, like they. I tweeted her, and she tweeted back. I did it. Fucking song, man. What else has been going on? I binge watched a couple of shows. I binge watched All American.
All American.
Have you heard of it?
I think so.
It's with Taye Diggs, and he's
All-American.
a coach for a.
I've seen that on. I've seen billboards. I've seen that on. Isn't like Bow Wow his
no
protege or something like that?
No. I don't know who this kid is. He's a new actor. He's pretty good.
Okay.
Black kid, black coach, obviously. Mm-hmm. He's from Crenshaw, from Compton, and Crenshaw.
The kid or Taye Diggs?
The kid.
Okay.
And Taye Diggs is also from Crenshaw, but he's moved to Beverly Hills and is, coaching at a Beverly Hills school, but he's from Crenshaw. Been watching this kid and saying, hey, you need to come to my school. Mm-hmm. They're like, no, you can't recruit. What if? Gunshots after the Crenshaw game. He's like, see, you want this? This is how you want to. No college coaches coming down here with gunshots firing. You know what I'm saying? So you need to come over to Beverly and get right. And then it goes into how he's looking. His father left him years ago. Blah blah blah, and the story twitches to like maybe this is his father. Like, and it gets really like, whoa, wait a minute. But then he's starting to like Taye Diggs' daughter, so you can't fuck your sister, and they're playing around, and the brother is like, you can't like him. Like, he's starting to figure things out. He went to the old barbershop where his dad grew up, old guy barbershop. Yo, your dad used to come in here, had a crush on little... Wait, my dad and his mom was... And they're like, yeah, they was thick as thieves. Boy, back in the days, they used to get it in, blah, 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 blah. Thought they was going to be in love forever. And the kid is like, wait a minute. Now this kid, and he's lives in with him, and it's a nice story. It's kind of like a 90210 Beverly Hills meets Boys in the Hood.
Okay.
With the, you think you're better than us moving across town.
Right.
And they're like 30 minutes away from each other. Like, the microcosmic of have and have not for Crenshaw versus Beverly Hills is 30 minutes away.
30 minutes.
Like 8 traffic stoplights. Like 8 lights you can get there.
That's like the difference between Garden City and Hempstead.
Yes. Yes. And to see how weird it is, it's brilliantly put together because it deals with his kids who he's interracial. He's got a white wife. The father who lives in Crenshaw doesn't like him because he married a white woman. Blah blah blah. So it deals with all that interracial stuff. It deals with the when the son starts to take his friend player back home to Crenshaw, gets pulled over by the cops. He's driving a fancy little car. They like, get down, and get treated like a black person. And he was like, my mom's a lawyer. And it was like, fuck you. You know what I'm saying? You black, motherfucker. You in a black neighborhood. What are you doing? Buying dope? What are you buying coke? What are you out here doing? Where'd you get this fancy car from? Get on the ground. And they go, you didn't give him the talk? And it's like, I didn't think I had to, It's really good. It's really good. I'm surprisingly how good it is with Taye Diggs because I just saw something else with him that was horrible. Rivers Run Red. Oh my god. Oh my god. But I've been binge watching a shitload of shows as I'm super excited for Endgame, obviously. Oh, and I saw Into the Spider-Verse.
Oh, did you like that?
I did. I really did. So Spider-Man is Dominican now.
Okay.
He's Dominican Miles Morales.
Okay.
From Brooklyn. Wears Jordans. And I mean, it was brilliantly put together because it was a comic.
Okay.
Even Stan Lee as a comic is in it, like how he does
his.
And they did something very interesting where they recapped some of the Spider-Man stuff that has happened already. So they drew it
So it's not a retelling of Spider-Man. It's like
it's another verse.
It's another version of Spider-Man.
Yes.
Okay.
It's another, hey, Peter Parker was this scientist kid, blah, blah, blah. And he, I don't know, spoil it, but he dies in one in one parallel of a universe. Okay. And then in a different realm, he's, and then there's all these other versions that have morphed into this so-and-so. There's a pig that fucking does. I'm a pig. He's like cartoon pig or whatever. Kingpin, Doc Octopus, Electro, all of them are in it, and it's amazing. It's really a good adaptation. And I'm happy because it's a comic book, but it was brilliantly done. It was a shout out to those guys. I think it's Chris Nolan and these guys. I'm not sure. I never know the animators or directors and stuff, but they really did a good job. a little too much of the trying to be Latino.
Okay.
Forced. A little forced.
A little forced?
Yeah, because like most Dominicans don't say that, they just talk and they
don't
just
say, they just, right. They just.
Remember, I'm a Dominican woman from there, right. And they spell it out for you, which doesn't make it
doesn't
natural.
Happen.
Yeah, it doesn't make it natural. Like, them saying, gracias and de nada all the time. Right. They don't do that.
Right.
Thanks, motherfucker.
Yeah, I don't need you to tell me all the time that somebody's Dominican.
Right.
Thank you. I get the point.
I get it. Right. The twang is enough. The background. It was really brilliant. I encourage people to go check that out if you're into the Spider-Verse. And if you go to the Regal Theater here in Lynbrook, boy, you'll have Merrick Lynbrook. You'll have a great time.
Yeah. Did they redo that one with the seats?
Oh man, it's got seats. There's no bad seat in there.
Yeah.
There's no bad seat. Beers.
I like those. Yeah.
Beers, wings, burgers. You get chicken and waffles.
Yeah.
You can fucking sit in your seat and slob off and just. Oh, I make golf that movie.
They got the idea that look, people ain't coming to the movies. So if they're coming to the movies, let's keep them here.
Yes.
For other shit. No more dinner and a movie. Do all that. You can do all that here if you wanted to.
Yeah, because it's so hard to space out between when you go to the movie to the dinner. You waste the whole time. And then you get everything. You get it there anyway.
Right.
And it's a little less. But if you go to this one here, it's packed. There's a bunch of kids in there. They hang out there. It's like got games, like an arcade. It got remember the old school stuff.
Yeah.
That's what they do. They go in the movie theater and they hang out there all day, especially on a rainy day like this. Great time.
That's good.
Yeah,
that's good. I'm curious as to what like kids have to do,
right?
Like on their own.
Yeah.
Like what does like a 13, 14-year-old kid does? What do they do on their own for themselves?
They used to
be
the mall.
Friends. Like, they used to be you go to the mall, or you used to go and just you hang out, whatever. But now people are so
busy.
People are busy. And parents are so what was it? The helicopterish, like
protective.
Protective. Like you got to take your kid to this event, take your kid to that event.
You have to drive them there.
But what do kids do for themselves? Because that's right off of. You can take the bus there. You can get the bus there.
So M4, you can. But used to be the mall and a movie, right? You go to the
movie, go to the mall,
right? Go to the mall afterwards, go around and get ice cream or milkshakes and shit, and come back home.
You just had your instructions as to when you're supposed to be home.
Right.
Be home by 7 o'clock.
So you figure you mix all of that stuff into it, you have a good time.
Mm-hmm.
Used to be. I don't know what kids do for fun now.
They probably I don't know.
Well, the arcade is gone. I mean, now there's a few virtual ones popping up now. So that'll
virtual. I want to. I got to step into one. There's one on 34th Street, right?
It's dope.
Which I want to step into.
Dope. I got a headache in there though.
Did you really?
Yeah, I got a headache. Because it was too much.
Mm-hmm.
It was too. You know what it was? I went in curiosity and just said fuck it and
surrendered.
$28 later, it was like
$28. Wow.
Yeah, you could spend some money in there, and I did a nice experience though. It was a fucking like a flight thing, like a.
Yeah, you were telling me. Okay, all right.
Well, that one I did in Orlando at Epcot Center, which was Soar. It was called Soar.
Okay.
And I taped that one. And that fucking thing was pretty scary. You'd fly over the pyramids, and next thing you know, you're going through the Eiffel Tower, and water splashing on you in the mist, and all that. It was really 4D, whatever they call it. Very interactive.
If you do it now, you probably run into some.
But I got a headache from this roller coaster that it switched to this, and they try to give you the feel like. They like had burning popcorn or something, and
oh really?
They tried to put some smells into it.
Okay.
I didn't dig it.
And that's okay.
But they were fake. They were sprays. Like they were like mist. Like a spray. Like a. Ooh, it smells like dandelions.
Yeah.
And it just goes away. It's like supposed to be no harm, no oils or nothing like that. And it's just then when you go through the meadow, it goes right at the. Okay. The fucking spraying. Right.
I'm allergic.
I smell toast, motherfucker. I'm not having a heart attack.
I'm allergic. I'm lactose intolerant. I got peanut allergies.
Jeez.
I got popcorn allergies. That's what'll happen to these kids when they go through that shit.
Yes.
All their allergies.
Right. They can't.
I can't go with you to the movies. I'm allergic to popcorn. I can't have popcorn.
No popcorn for you. So other than that, busy week. Got a couple of events this week for work.
Yeah.
Dinners. I went to a couple of dinners last week, which was pretty fun. I went to quite a few of them. I went to a party at Frankie and Johnny's.
Okay.
Which was awesome. Always is. I went to Bond 45.
Ah, okay.
That was cool. I went to a restaurant called Harry and Ben's in Hoboken.
Harry and Ben's. Okay.
Not Harry and David. That's the place that delivers the stuff to you. But Hoboken, New Jersey. Have you been lately?
Hoboken is kind of...
It's pretty swank.
Like hippie-ish.
It's a hipster place. It's like
Williamsburg.
Yeah, it's exactly what I felt like. It felt exactly like Williamsburg. Mm-hmm. It had that same vibe and feel, but a shitload of bars and they got a cigar lounge over there, which is a cognac and cigar place. It's a bar and cigar place. We should go there.
Oh,
it's fucking.
I gotta
nice.
hit us. There's a few out in the island that I've been meaning to go to.
Well, my friends all go to that one in Rockville Center.
Tobacco Park.
Yeah. Tobacco Park. They like that one, and you can bring your own.
You can bring your own stuff.
You can bring your own liquor.
Okay.
You can bring your own booze in there.
Okay.
Yeah, they don't serve it, so you can bring your own.
So you can bring your own.
You can bring a bottle of wine. You can bring.
Oh, nice.
And you could the sports league watch.
It's
TVs.
a sports bar, right?
Got shit in there. It's not a bar. It's a.
It's like a hangout. It's like a lounge. It's for people who smoke cigars.
Yes.
Because you can't smoke inside anymore.
Right. So that they have, and but this one looked really fucking chill. It was decked out. I mean, I just poked my head in, and it was like all these guys sitting in their lounge chairs, and I come pushing. They got the bell, ching ding 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 ding. You walk in the room. Fuck are you? And I'm like, sorry guys, is this a? And it was like. So anyway, Joe, but it was a cool little spot. I liked it, and they had a nice assortment of like whiskeys and yaks, brandies, and all kinds of things that kind of go with cigars. And they had a lot of shit you could buy, like wraps and rolls and holders and Zippos and all kinds of shit. So we should go by if I can remember where it was.
Hoboken. How far is Hoboken? Hoboken is...
It's right on the other side.
Okay.
Literally on the other side of the west side.
So you fall off in New York, you end up in Hoboken.
Yeah, T-Neck Hoboken. There's a bus that leaves right from... remember where those girls left from when we left from Rudy's?
Yes.
And they go 42nd Street. It's $2.
Oh,
$2 bus takes you there.
So they didn't even go to Port Authority?
No.
It was right off of...
It was on the street.
On the street.
Yeah. You go right to Hoboken, and that take you right to the... Or we take the path... And it's the same as a Metro card.
The same as a Metro card, right?
Yeah, it was one stop. It was
okay.
Yeah, it was great. And we came right up out of the station, and it was right there.
Oh, that's beautiful.
It's amazing.
It's beautiful if it's like right off the train.
There's a train station, the Hoboken train station, and you walk upstairs, and there's a fucking bar here. There's Cobblestone Road. There's a shitload of more restaurants over here. A lot of steakhouses. It's cute. And you got the W Hotel over there. They got a nice bar.
I remember the first time I took my wife to Yankee Stadium. Like the first time she went on the train. She would always drive there, and she was nervous about going there. And she was like, "Well, how far is it from?" I'm like, "We get up right up at the like she didn't know."
Yeah.
You know, so we get there, we go up, and the stadium is right there, and she goes, "Oh, yeah, it's like right here." I'm like, "Yes, it's right here."
It's kind of what makes it.
It's kind of what makes it best. Yeah. You're saying it's the same thing. Like you get out of the Hoboken and it's you step out and it's everything. You're right in the middle of everything.
Yeah, I was like, damn. I took an Uber there because I was late. I thought it was gonna be late. Well, they sent a lift for me, and I was like, all right, I don't need to, but I'll get there one way or another because I didn't know where I was going.
Right.
I was like, I haven't been to Hoboken since it was hobos. So Hoboken, New Jersey is the new hipster spot. And a shitload of apartments coming up there, all facing Manhattan, obviously.
Yeah.
They got all these towers. They got all these, river,
I don't know who's going to live there.
Front. Yeah.
I don't know who can afford to live there.
I don't know. But if you could come over to the PATH train. Well, the only thing I didn't like about the PATH train is it doesn't go, you can't come up right to Penn. So you got to get out in front of
You got to get out, right.
And then walk, one block. Who gives a shit? I'm so spoiled.
Yeah, but I know, right? When you start complaining about shit like that, you got to walk a block to go there. What kind of bullshit is this?
Bullshit is this? Well, the only reason I said that I didn't like it was because timing it with the train, the other one is like, I have an unknown.
You got an unknown quantity,
I got to dodge,
Right.
Dip, dodge, break. You can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball.
Ting!
That's a classic.
It is a classic.
All right, I think we're gonna get out of here.
Okay.
It's up to you.
No, it's up to you. This is your place. I got to put together some TVs for my father-in-law, though.
I'm gonna put together my TV.
Well, what do you know? It's the day for it.
Well, we switched TV. I did a goofball move here. I switched TVs from one upstairs to down here because I like this one better and has more HDMI outputs. But little did I know, the stand that I have is not the correct stand for this TV.
Always a little shit, right?
Little shit.
Always a little shit that you don't pay attention to.
So we went to my storage in the old house and we're like, where's the stand?
And you moved it already, so you're in. You're in. You bought in. You bought into the thing. I moved
the first piece already because it's an old plasma TV and it's heavy as shit. And it's hot. And that upstairs, no one watches that in the living room up there. That's no one. So I said, move that one up there. This TV's better and it's LED. It's more energy efficient. It's brighter. I love it. And now I can't fucking watch it. So I'm going to jerry-rig something with some tools.
There you go. That's what you got tools for. I might have to open up that trunk. Do you? Yeah, it's in there.
The trunk.
It's in there.
Close to not this one, but the
we just discovered something.
It's in.
Bing. You see the light bulb?
Bing. Frizzy Fair. Okay.
Two Balls Podcast.
Episode 45.
Not.
Stepping out. Have a blessed week, everyone. Or if not, fuck.